here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Because this is a proud damn state.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
You can actually feel Razorback Stadium shaking underneath our feet right now.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Arkansas wins. The Hogs are still dancing to the Elite Eight for the first time since 1995.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Halftime today is brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings in Fort Smith, Conway, Little Rock, Sherwood, and Jonesboro.
Buffalo Wild Wings. Roar!
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
All right, I'm going to put this out there at the very start of the show. They're going to do everything possible to play the game tonight. Can I just throw that out there very early?
Is that your prediction?
I'm making no predictions whatsoever about this because I'm actually kind of tired of worrying about the weather. I've been tired of worrying about the weather for the last 2.5 months, and now here it is. It's the week after the one weekend that we haven't had to worry about it in Knoxville. We had to worry about other things. The most nail-biting series of the season in mostly bright sunshine in Knoxville. And then here we go. You know, you're going to be fine tomorrow and on Saturday, but today's a little bit hairy, a little bit wet, and I don't know, so I have no idea. Look, if today's game gets banged, you throw that word out there early. If for some reason you can't play it today, the doubleheader will be tomorrow. They won't play it on Saturday. Don't worry about having to have this series go over to Sunday. So we'll get that out of the way early here. Oh, I'm so tired about the weather. So tired worrying about it.
And it has to come on the weekend when they're expecting, or they're not expecting, when they're doing full capacity. First one of the year, too.
Well, at least we get full capacity for a regional.
That's true. That's
and then
true.
Hopefully at home for a super regional, too, although, you know. You want to throw out the percentages of chances of rain already for 2 weeks away when the regional would start? Go ahead. So, I mean, it's pretty much like it's 70% already just because when the Razorbacks are playing a series on a weekend, you got to worry about the weather. So I would just rather worry about the games, about the actual teams that are going to be on the field. The very high level. I think you're going to see another high level series, which you pretty much see every weekend in the SEC. But this Florida team is incredibly talented, really talented. They got a lot of guys that went to Florida and passed up signing professional contracts a couple of years ago, and probably players that could have been drafted way earlier than late 30 rounds when some teams were just taking a chance and thinking, well, maybe they'll sign, maybe they won't. We'd love to get this kid here. He's probably heading to Florida. They end up going to Florida. And a very young team that has stumbled here and there throughout the season. But look, this Florida team has probably more at stake this weekend than Arkansas does because the Razorbacks are going to be a host no matter what. They're going to be – I think you lose this series, you still are looking at potentially a number one overall seed. Florida probably right now, they win 2 out of 3 in this weekend against the Razorbacks. They then have clinched – hosting at their home stadium this year. Like if the season were to end right now, they probably do host. You win 2 out of 3 at Arkansas, the number one team in the country, number one RPI, and remember the road wins mean more for the RPI rankings, and the committee's going to pay attention to that too. Florida, without question, would be hosting and probably would move up in the committee's eyes by a couple of slots, depending on what would happen next week. So Florida's got a lot to play for. This is a really talented team. You can't take for granted that the fact that this Razorback team has won 12 consecutive weekends, that it's going to happen again, because that's only happened once in SEC history. Vanderbilt, what was that, 8-9 years ago? Vanderbilt went 27-3.
Yep.
In this, first of all, that's stupid. I don't know how you win 27 out of 30 games in this conference. I don't know how that happened. But to have a chance to make it 13 straight winning weekends and for it to be maybe the most talented overall team that you face this year, that's going to make it just as exciting as last weekend at Tennessee. It's just that you get your games at home and 100% capacity, and you've changed up your rotation a little bit. It really is mind-blowing when you think about it, that the SmackDown, the number one team in the country, has remained number one in the country for, well, let's just say since the first weekend of the season, because that's when they moved into number one in at least one or two of the polls. And yet, they've probably held the same starting rotation for what, in consecutive weeks? 3 at the most?
At the most.
At the most, it's been 3 weeks in a row with the same weekend starting rotation. And this isn't going to be the same as it was last weekend, because you got Wicklander today, Caleb Bolden gets the start tomorrow, and a TBA on Saturday, which still could be a Peyton Paulette, could be Lyle Lockhart. I still think it's going to end up being Lyle Lockhart, but just amazing. Really is amazing.
I mean, and that was, we were talking about it this morning on the Morning Rush with the different pitching issues that this team has had, and Ty was just talking about that. And we brought it up time and time again. For all the issues and all the inconsistencies, that may be the wrong word, but for all the changes of this pitching staff and everything about it, this team is still finding ways to win ball games. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, yes, you can have your concerns, and rightfully so. But I mean, you don't necessarily. I mean, I think we said it yesterday. I think Wicklander is your certified ace, or your ace of this staff. We'll put it like that. While you don't have your Saturday and Sunday guys necessarily figured out, you can pitch both of those days by committee. And I think if you polled every Razorback fan, they would feel fairly confident in that.
And mostly
because
that's
it's been
work.
proven so far.
One thing I guess I'd like to see is to not have to use Cops for 3 innings on a day when Wicklander pitches, because, you know, I mean, it's not that he can't pitch the next day. He threw over 60 pitches Friday after relieving Wicklander, so that makes him unavailable the next day. If Cops throws 30, 35 pitches, he's available for you the next day. But in order for that to be the case, you probably need to have him come on in the 8th inning. I know he's been economical enough to come on in the 7th and throw 30, 35 pitches, but that's still pretty rare to be that economical. I'd love to see tonight Wicklander give you 7, because he didn't throw that many pitches last Friday. I know he's on short rest, but he really didn't throw that many pitches on Friday in Knoxville, because he came out early in the 3rd inning. I would love to see if you bring in Cops in, I'd love to see it in the 8th inning and make him available for Friday. Then again, I mean, it is Cops that's more on short rest than Wicklander, because Kevin threw over 100 pitches last weekend, and he last worked on Sunday. Wicklander last worked on Friday. So who's the one that really needs the rest right now? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
877-377-6963. JT wants to know about the jet stream. JT,
That's
jet
the question
stream
of the century, yeah.
The jet stream can die a slow, painful death as far as I'm concerned for right now. Now, look, I understand that really can't be the case, because if the jet stream goes away, then the weather gets a heck of a lot less stable and bad things happen across the world, especially here in the United States. So I say that completely figuratively. I love the jet stream because it helps keep things, you know, nice and comfortable, mostly where we live. But as far as the conversation for the game tonight and the weather tonight, the jet stream can get off my freaking lawn. It's Thursday. I know it's not Tuesday. I'm just so tired of worrying about it.
I know.
Just want to get out and play baseball today and not worry about it, because it's one of those days. It's like it's 40 to 60% all afternoon into the mid evening, and it looks like things clear up like around 9 o'clock, right around the time that you're like, well, are we really going to try to get this thing in? So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I just know this. 5:30 at 5:30 in the afternoon. This very radio station you're listening to, with the exception of 99.5 in Springdale, because we can't carry baseball on that signal yet. At 5:30 in the afternoon, on our Fort Smith, on our Mountain Home, and Harrison, and on our Mena Hot Springs affiliates, and on many other great radio stations across this state, I and Bubba Carpenter are going on the air to do a pregame show. We'll play an interview with Dave Van Horn. We'll kick it back and forth a little bit, and then we'll see what happens. That's the best I can tell you. Does that work enough? Is that enough for us, SmackDown?
I think so. It's like, do me and Matty T need to be ready to go, and we can do like a late afternoon, mid-afternoon edition of halftime? Or like with this, it's like if that's pregame coverage for what, like first inning coverage or something?
Mm-hmm. Now Austin, he chimes in with the jet stream. But you can fly around in the jet stream yourself, Austin. You just keep on asking about that darn thing. Hacker and Harrison, I think you make a good point. How about Arkansas as a 4-run lead going into the 7th inning? They don't use cops at all. You know, the interesting aspect about that is they might still use cops with a 4+ run lead. If it's 4 runs, they still might use cops. Just because in college baseball, if it's a 4-run lead in the 7th inning, there still is no such thing as a comfortable lead late in college baseball with this crazy sport. So I still think they would bring cops in at that moment because they view that as the best chance to make sure they win that game right in front of them. Anyway, 877-377-6963. Clay Henry is with us today. He'll be on in about 20 minutes. Bob Holt joins us in hour number 2. Halftime homework to wrap it up, and lots to get to. It's halftime.
This is Trusting the Process, presented by the Arnold team with Weichert Realtors in Harrison.
Wally Hall and I had a conversation, and I was asking him how long he was going to do this, and he said, well, sometimes I think they're going to have to carry me out of there. But as long as you have the passion to prepare, preparation goes into this, and so as long as you enjoy the process, I mean, why stop?
Hear Arkansas sports media member stories on Trusting the Process on hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
As the days get longer and the weather gets warmer, it just means more time for outdoor fun. Family owned and operated for over 50 years, Wheeler Power Sports knows everything there is to know about helping you have that fun. Right now, you can save up to $1,000 or get financing as low as 0% during the Kawasaki Rev Up for Spring Sales event. Check out their full inventory at WheelerPowersports.com or go see them at 901 North 11th Street near downtown Fort Smith. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling.
Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunity, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Business is back, and your locally owned TGI Fridays is now hiring for multiple positions. For over 26 years, TGI Fridays in Fort Smith has been locally owned and a fun place to work, and we want you to come be a part of our family. Apply in person or message us online on our TGI Fridays Fort Smith Facebook page. If you've been out of work and are needing a job, or you're just looking for a career change, we have multiple positions available in the front and back of the house, and we want to welcome you to our family at your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
There's nothing quite like outdoor living, and at Razorback Camper Sales, we've been bringing the camping lifestyle to families for over 50 years. We're Arkansas's oldest family-owned RV dealer with the best parts and service department in the state. Razorback Camper Sales has everything you need for travel trailers, fifth wheels, and pop-ups. Find out why our customers are always happy campers. Come see us in Hot Springs or online at RazorbackCampersales.com.
Your local premier dish dealer is World of Wireless, right at the light next door to Frank Rowe Furniture in Barling, or call 877-305-DISH. Exclusive offers that you won't find anywhere else, only at World of Wireless.
As a premier retailer, World of Wireless gets to offer you special things, such as a free gift with purchase when you sign up for the new Dish Hopper 3 system. And right now, we're offering the Google Nest Indoor IQ camera. That's a $300 value, absolutely free when you sign up for new service and get installed. But you got to call us at 877-305-DISH. That's a toll-free number, but we are local.
You still get all the features that you want with Dish, the Hopper system, the 2-year price guarantee, plus the camera is a bonus, and this is a high-end camera with all the features, including facial recognition.
Yes, facial recognition. It's easy to sit and show the baby's room, or you can just put it out the window and look at your patio deck, and you can see on your television screen on the Hopper system who is there.
877-305-DISH for all the details and the free camera when you call WOW now. That's 877-305-DISH.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
The set. Runner going. Swung on, belted by Wallace to deep left field. Back it goes. Out of here! 2-run homer, Caden Wallace. What a moment for the freshman.
Need a little bit more halftime in your life? Make sure to download the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast. Eastside Liquor in Fort Smith has the best deals in the River Valley on liquor, beer, and wine. Stop by 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith and make sure to check out their Facebook page for weekly specials. The Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast is part of the Hit That Line Podcast Network and is available wherever you listen to podcasts.
So last night, I was hanging out at home, made dinner, open up Twitter, and pull up. What I see is a tweet coming from someone that alerts me that Corey Kluber is working on a no-hitter for the New York Yankees. I think this was in the 6th inning.
Yes.
So I immediately open up my MLB app, and it's the free game of the day, the Rangers and the Yankees. So I try to watch the game, can't watch it because we're in the restricted area for Rangers games. And good luck finding that on television if you don't have the giant sports cable package. So I couldn't watch that, which only means that I can listen to one of my favorite baseball radio broadcasts for the theatrical call of the one and only John Sterling, who's been doing Yankees games since, I think it's been 1991, 1992. He's called all of these world championships that they've won, since then, and is one of the greats. Although you can tell he's got an ego on the air, but he's also a guy that's old school. He's been around for a long, long time. Called, I don't know if you remember, this is a famous game, basketball game, an NBA game. Larry Bird scored something like 63 points against the Atlanta Falcons and the Atlanta Hawks in a game that was played in New Orleans.
Okay.
Because the Hawks that year had to use New Orleans as a alternate home site for a few games, and Sterling was the voice of the Atlanta Hawks then. So I mean, he's been around a long time. I only say that because of all the folks who like to tell me that we always have to know better, that real people, real baseball people, real broadcasters don't use the term no-hitter when a no-hitter is being thrown. And then I hear Sterling use the term no-hitter about 58 million times from the start that I start listening to the game in the 7th inning until he gets a chance to call this moment.
1 out away from the no-hitter, Corey Kluber. Yankees with a 2-0 lead. And here on the bottom of the ninth, 2 outs and no one on. Only one man has reached base against Kluber all night. A walk to Culberson back in the 3rd. Now here is the 0-1 to Calhoun. Hit on the ground to second. Torres throws to first in time. Ball game over. Corey Kluber has pitched a no-hitter. Corey Kluber came within one man of a perfect game. He pitches a no-hitter, and the Yankees are delirious on the field, celebrating with Corey Kluber in the middle.
So I love that I actually have some of the evidence right there before the final pitch of the no-hitter is thrown. He uses the word no-hitter. Don't ever tell me that a broadcaster can end a no-hitter just by saying the words no-hitter sometime before the final pitch is thrown.
Golly, you're aggressive this morning.
I'm always going to be aggressive about that one because people come with equal aggression on social media at the same time, thinking that they have some like real anecdotal evidence when the proof is right there for you. It is absolutely true. Maybe it's just a matter of dumb luck now, because if you use the word no-hitter on any given day this month in a Major League Baseball broadcast, chances are better that you might actually see one, because now you've seen 4 in June. That is the most ever thrown in 1 month in Major League Baseball. You know how many more? I'm sorry, it's May. It's May. My brain's a little fried. It's May. How many more days are left until June? You got another 11, right? Another 11 days? Think there's going to be another no-hitter thrown between now and then?
At this rate,
You've had one back-to-back days. You had Spencer Turnbull for the Tigers, no-hit the Mariners. Second one against the Mariners. That happened 2 days ago. And then the Klubot, 2-time Cy Young Award winner, who pitched an inning for the Rangers last year. 1 inning. He pitched 1 inning for the Rangers last year. That's his whole Rangers career. And then he throws a no-hitter against them the next season. That hadn't happened since 1990 when Terry Mulholland, for those Phillies fans out there, remember Mulholland throwing a no-hitter for Philadelphia in 1990 against the Giants, whom he had helped get to the World Series the year before. So, and Kluber is one of the greats now. I mean, he's been around for a while. He's won 2 Cy Young Award winners. He's not a nobody. And the shock is that this is New York's first no-hitter since David Cohn threw that perfect game in 1999.
That's crazy to think about that. It's been that long for the Yankees. And they were talking about it on Greeny before we came on here this morning. Are all these no-hitters bad for baseball? And you were talking yesterday about just like players not knowing how to hit, which I don't even think – has this ever been a discussion before that no-hitters were – or the amount of no-hitters, particularly in this month, has been bad for baseball? Because it seems like in years past, when you threw a no-hitter, good Lord Almighty, you were the talk of the town. You were the talk of the world for throwing a no-hitter. Now it's just like it's almost turning into a routine because you're either, like you said yesterday, hitting a you-know-what ton of home runs or you're throwing a no-hitter. So, like, there's no consistency here. Like you were talking yesterday, and I 1,000% agree. College baseball is a whole lot more watchable right now than Major League Baseball. And I don't get the lapse in – I don't want to say lapse in talent, but what the heck's going on here? I mean, I'm good for the guy. Good for the guy. It's hard. It's hard enough to pitch in baseball. I can only imagine the difficulty of throwing an actual no-hitter against Major League talent. But
well, the current way that the game is played, this has all happened in the last really 5-6 years. I forget the year it was, 2017, I think there were 7 no-hitters. And, I mean, there have been a lot in the last 10 years. But I remember in 1990, that's the year Mulholland threw that no-hitter, and also the last time that you had a no-hitter, 2 no-hitters thrown within 24 hours of each other, and it happened on the same day, Dave Stewart and Fernando Valenzuela, June 29th, 1990. Nobody then ever said, you know what, there's too many no-hitters this year. Everybody was saying, wow, this is incredible. How the heck did this happen? Usually you don't see 7 no-hitters over a 5 or 6 year period. But there were, I think, another 6 or 7 the year after that. So, but still then guys were making contact. It was a much different game that was being played, and that was 30 years ago.
Right.
So now it's more of an indication of the way the game is played than anything else, or the way the game is taught to hit. You know, you say they don't know how to hit. I won't say that nobody knows how to hit. They know what to do. They're coached differently. It's a matter of acceptance. What's accepted now? The strikeouts are accepted. The uppercut swing on 2 strikes is more accepted. You know, not trying to go the other way on 2 strikes. There is no more 2-strike approach. That's the main difference. That and these 102-mile-an-hour fastballs. Kluber doesn't throw that hard. He just knows how to pitch. What he did yesterday, he might have been able to do any other day, 25, 30 years ago, because he's that kind of pitcher. But I wouldn't say that it's a bad thing for baseball that all these no-hitters are being thrown. No-hitters are great. No-hitters actually, I think, improve the visibility of the sport and certainly the pitcher that throws it. And there's nothing like being there when one's being thrown, really, no matter the climate of the way the game is being taught. It's just, and Greeny was right when he's saying this is more of a symptom of the disease of what you're seeing now, and the fact that these have all been thrown in the first 6-7 weeks of the season makes you feel like, gosh, this will be the first year that he ever had double-digit no-hitters thrown. Does it cheapen or lessen the wow factor of the achievement of throwing a no-hitter? I don't know if I'd put it that way, because it still is incredibly difficult to get on a pitcher's mound and go through a major league lineup at least 3 times and not give up a base hit. Especially now that they're swinging for home runs, it's like trying to avoid the home run can be difficult sometimes. Staying out of bad counts. I don't think it lessens the achievement. It just makes you're just going to see more of them. To me, it doesn't lessen the excitement of it. It just means that we will probably see 15 of them this year, and then we'll remember this was the real year of the pitcher. And then the next question is, are there rules changes that come after that to the major league game? Do you change the ball? They've already lowered the mound from 1968. Can you lower it anymore? You want to create an inverted pitcher's mound and make them throw out of a hole, in the same way that softball pitchers do? I don't know, but this is just further evidence of what you're dealing with in the sport of baseball, which is now being played in a way that it's never been played before.
It's going to be interesting to kind of see how this whole thing plays out. And when was the last I'm just trying to think of collegiate baseball, but just because when was the last college no-hitter? Because it feels like
we've had some thrown this year. Remember Jack Leiter threw one.
Okay. Because you don't hardly see him very often.
Well, it's just because
and the difference is in the game, I guess.
There have been no-hitters thrown. There was a Kansas State pitcher I threw, or Kansas pitcher that threw one recently. You get no-hitters in college baseball. It's just there are more teams, there's more players. and the spotlight's not on college sport the same way it is with major leagues. But there's just as many. You just don't see them in the minor leagues much because everybody's held to a pitch count. And the pitch count is religion in the minors, and so nobody ever completes a no-hitter in the minor leagues. In the majors, one of the shocking things now is that you've actually had all these no-hitters have been complete game no-hitters. And really there should be a seventh, because I still think Madison Bumgarner has gotten screwed out of not being given credit for one when he pitched a 7-inning game and it was scheduled for 7 innings and he didn't allow any base hits. So let's just say there's been 6, okay? Because there have been. I don't care what Rob Brantford says about that. 877-377-6963. Clay Henry's coming up with us next. Jetstream, 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 Jetstream. That make you happy? All right, we'll see. Right back.
The Arkansas Baptist Children's Home.
Dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This song might make you feel cool, but it perfectly describes a fool. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road and gonna ride till I can't no more, and can't nobody tell me nothing. This path will only lead you to God's wrath, because the Bible says the wicked refuse discipline and treat his words like trash. What good is a nice beat when you're headed down the wrong street? I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This song might make you feel cool, but it perfectly describes a fool. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road and gonna ride till I can't no more, and can't nobody tell me nothing. This path will only lead you to God's wrath, because the Bible says the wicked refuse discipline and treat his words like trash. What good is a nice beat when you're headed down the wrong street? I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This song might make you feel cool, but it perfectly describes a fool. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road and gonna ride till I can't no more, and can't nobody tell me nothing. This path will only lead you to God's wrath.
Near the pole, it is a home run for Cullen Smith. Just inside the pole in right field, and the Razorbacks strike in the second inning once again on a solo home run. Number 6 for Cullen Smith.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Have a smart speaker? Just say play ESPN Arkansas to listen to Halftime anywhere you go.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and SmackDown.
I had a conversation with Bobby Wernis a few days ago in Knoxville about how do you remember what day it is when you're in professional baseball, especially when Bobby played in the complex leagues in Florida, where legitimately every day feels like the day it was before. You don't know Saturday from Tuesday from Thursday. I'm a little thrown off now too. It feels like Wednesday to me, because that's when Clay Henry usually comes on with us, the publisher and editor of Hogs Illustrated. Is with us today. It's Thursday. Clay, I need you to reset my my body clock. Can you help me out here?
Okay. Yeah. It's Thursday.
Okay, good.
Thursday. So I know what day it is because I've got to start thinking about a column for the Saturday paper. And so a lot of times I write it on Thursday because I don't want it to be hanging over me on Friday. I really like to be way ahead of deadlines and to be just kind of cruising. And of course, that's dangerous sometimes because something will happen to ruin that column and you have to redo it. I was really nervous, so we sent our summer football preview to the press Tuesday. And so Tuesday, I guess it was, Monday night, Sam Pittman spoke in Harrison. So I was like, okay, this is kind of my last time to make sure everybody's eligible. None of the guys that I wrote features about, he's going to get up there and say this guy didn't make his grades or this guy's in the portal. It could be all. So I, more than anything, I went just to kind of feel comfortable that I could pull the trigger and let that magazine go to the press.
I really wish Ty Richardson was listening right now, Clay, because you just explained reasons why you would be nervous about something. Nothing had to do with one team beating another team. It was about having the accurate information inside your magazine.
Job.
That, to me, that's what my job. That's what you want to be nervous about, not someone else's job on the field, right?
That's correct. I don't worry about, how's this going to make the fans feel? That's not my job.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's.
You got a preview into what you what's at the top of your head? What do you think you want to write about on Saturday, or do you not divulge that?
I think that I was not going to do this, but everybody else has. It's going to be about Texas, I think, and everybody's talked about Texas all week. I know Ty had Chuck Dicus on one day this week. Ty asked me who would be good, and I gave him a list of about 10 different names and said any of these, from different eras could be good on playing Texas. And, I mentioned Bill Montgomery and Chuck Dicus and Matt Jones and Harold Horton or Ken Hatfield. There's just a lot, that have been through, 100 years of playing Texas that are, if they're still alive. I mean, it's all a different period, a different time frame, different. And I said, then you can talk to guys from Texas that played against Texas. And of course, the greatest one would have been Lloyd Phillips, who passed away last year, who was a guy that Texas did not recruit and then came here and was the best player in America and played in a rage 3 straight years against Texas, and Arkansas went 3-0, 64, 65, 66. And you'll be hard-pressed to find a 3-year starter for Arkansas that has a 3-0 record against Texas, and Lloyd had that.
Clay Henry joining us here on Halftime. Clay, I want to ask you a little bit more about this Arkansas-Texas matchup because you've been there since. I mean, you've been covering this since way back in the Southwest Conference, 50 years. So you know what this rivalry means to both states. I mean, maybe not so much now with Texas, but what it means here in Arkansas because, like you just mentioned, the excitement level that's been throughout this state with this game being announced prime time. What needs to happen in your mind? Because we still got some time to build this thing up, but Clay, this matchup feels like this thing, maybe not an every year thing, Clay, but like a every other year, every 4 years. Arkansas Texas needs to become like the game again. Don't you think so?
Well, you want to have, different Power 5 teams on the schedule. I mean, I'll be excited to see Notre Dame. So you're not going to play Texas and Notre Dame in the same year, as non-conference games. They've got BYU and Utah. I think some other teams that's interesting to me, and I would really enjoy going out west. And I have my motivations. There's some great trout fishing in those areas. But that's just selfish, being me. But every once in a while, playing Texas would be good. And I don't think you have to do it every year. You need, you've got Texas A&M, so you've got a Texas presence on your schedule. So, but I think just to remind everybody the history and what's gone on, with Arkansas, there's a lot of young people that when you say you hate Texas, they don't get it and they don't understand it. It's just, and Texas hasn't been good. So why would why would that be a feeling? But I mean, there's a lot of people my age when, it's a good weekend when the Razorbacks lose, and it's a better weekend when when they win and Texas loses. You keep up. Did Texas lose? I guarantee you, that Arkansas plays during the daytime and Texas is playing that night in, a Big 12 game, and I'll flip over there, and if Iowa State's pounding on them, I'll watch it. If Texas is winning, then I'll move on to something else. So now I got a really unique perspective on Texas. For 14 years, I was at the Tulsa World, and I did not cover one team. It rotated. I got the good game every week. So I might see Oklahoma, Texas in the Cotton Bowl one week, and then the very next week, Arkansas and Texas played. And it was a much bigger game for Texas to play Oklahoma than it was for Texas to play Arkansas. And that was a great spot on the schedule for Arkansas, because they got to beat up Texas team a lot of times, maybe beat up emotionally if Oklahoma had wrecked their season the week before. So what you have to remember about Texas is Arkansas is not their rival, because they have oftentimes 7, 8, 9 rivals. Every school in Texas felt the same way about Texas as Arkansas did. So that's the perspective that you have to remember, and I don't care. But it's still a rival for Arkansas that week.
One interesting thing about that, Clay, is as much as Arkansas fans hate Texas, and it's subsided. You're right, over these last long time now, because you haven't played them on a consistent basis. A&M fans hate them more. I think Texas A&M fans hate the Texas Longhorns even more. And they still don't play them either. And it's more out of not playing them now that they hate them, because they really would like to. And the other thing about this too, Clay, so we're all fired up about Arkansas-Texas football on September 11th, ESPN, 6 o'clock. Good reason to be. These baseball teams may meet up in Omaha. They've already played in Arlington, and that was a pretty emotional game because of that. You remember, Elijah Trest had the horns down during the national anthem for the fans behind the dugout to see. And Texas is playing great baseball now. I think Arkansas and Texas may meet in Omaha. So let's get that rivalry, which by the way, the baseball teams really do have a rivalry because they have been playing for the last few years.
Yeah, and that's not the first time in the last few years that an Arkansas player has done that too. No. Because it was a non-conference game at Baum. And it was Matt Cronin. It was just kind of blossoming as a closer, and he shut down the horns. And on the final strike 3, he looked in the dugout and did a downward hook 'em. And he said, his mother grew up in Jacksonville, and he said, she taught me that. So that's our responsibility to the youngsters, is to teach them that. What it means, and what it means for an Arkansas player to do that. And, you can say, well, Kopp's is, greatest closer. Well, Cronin was pretty good, and he also has that legacy of doing the downward horns, which he celebrated. I interviewed him. He didn't dodge it. He goes, "Oh yeah, I did that, and I'll do it again."
Oh yeah,
Matt. Proud of that.
Matt's not going to dodge a moment like that. I don't think there's any. And I love the idea of like Tress doing it. Kopp's is too. I don't think Kopp's would do it, but I love the
that's
idea
not
of
Kopp's style.
Texas
She's from
kids.
Texas. Yeah.
I love the idea of Texas kids doing it to the Longhorn. I also love the idea that if you're fishing for cold water bass on Beaver Lake or Table Rock, or fishing for a trophy brown trout on the mighty White River, the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue will catch them. It's got that famous rolling action whether it's fished extremely low or work fast in heavy current. This Rogue suspends, so it will stay in the strike zone longer, allows you to catch more fish. It's available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LearnNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Smithwick Original Suspending Rattler Rogue. More with Clay Henry right after this on Halftime.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Hi, folks. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources, where it's trading time. I really need to keep my lot stocked, so all this month, I'm giving up to $3,100 extra for your trade. Even if you still owe money on your car, up to $3,100 extra goes a long way to help you get into a nicer, newer car today. Call, go online, or come by and choose from a great selection of Rath Road Ready cars, trucks, and SUVs. Each one hand-picked and inspected in our Meineke Car Care Center. Plus, our For the People credit approval process works with the country's best banks and lenders to make sure you drive off with a payment you can afford. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with free AC performance checks, half-off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. Better yet, trade it in for something nicer and newer today and get up to $3,100 extra on trade. During trading time at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources, and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Requires bank approval. Negative equity may be refinanced. Offer absolutely ends by May 31st, 2021.
The smoked Philly beef sandwich is back for a limited time at Art's Barbecue and Burgers. Cooked to perfection and served every day. Art's is also bringing back the smoked grilled ribeye every Friday and Saturday. Smoked low and slow and grilled to perfection. It's all at Art's Barbecue and Burgers. Hey, and don't forget Friday nights. All you can eat catfish at Art's Barbecue and Burgers. The smoked Philly beef sandwich perfected every day. And smoked grilled ribeyes every Friday and Saturday at Art's Barbecue and Burgers, Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Hey, grounds guys.
Hey, what?
I've got one guy that mows my yard, another guy that sprays for weeds, another group that does my landscaping, and I'm probably forgetting someone that does something else. Wouldn't it be easier to just call one place for all my yard work?
You betcha. When it comes to yard work, just call the grounds guys. Mowing, maintenance, weed control, landscaping. We do it all. Call 479-303-GUYS. That's 303-GUYS. Or visit groundsguys.com in Northwest Arkansas and the Fort Smith area. The Grounds Guys. Leave the yard work to us.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. Each day we see familiar faces who have supported us from the beginning because they see the benefits of an active lifestyle. We're also always meeting new customers who are taking their first steps towards making running or walking a part of daily life. We have the opportunity to share in their successes and help them achieve their goals. The people of Fort Smith and the River Valley are why we believe we were voted one of the best running stores in America. Visit us and see how we can help you. True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
Are you looking for a new place to call home? Whether you're looking for an apartment, duplex, townhome, or a house, Trinity Multifamily has you covered. They even have options in surrounding states, from Texas to Michigan and Kansas to Tennessee. If you're looking for a new place to call home, make Trinity Multifamily your first call at 479-452-1817. That's 479-452-1817. Or online at trinitymultifamily.com to search rental properties near you.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey!
0-2 on Robert Moore. Farr kicks and deals. Swung on, belted by Moore to right field for the second time today. Robert Moore over the fence into the palmetto trees. A 2-run homer by Robert Moore, his second of the game, his 10th of the year. What a shot by Robert Moore.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
Clay Henry with us for the rest of this hour. So one more segment with the publisher and editor of Hogs Illustrated, Phil Elson as well. Matt Smackdown Jenkins, Matthew Master Travis. Got any text for Clay? Questions? 877-377-6963. Clay, you got baseball tonight, hopefully. Florida in town. You know, we were getting into this yesterday a little bit. Major League Baseball is a little unwatchable on television. I don't like baseball on TV to begin with. I'd go to a big league game in person. I don't care what's going on. But it is kind of tough to watch without a lot of balls put into play. I feel like college baseball is a better overall product. And there aren't as many strikeouts. There's more balls put into play. I don't know. And I told someone who comes on the show with us yesterday, like, if I heard myself 20 years ago say this, I would have kicked myself in the face. But I really do believe it. I think college baseball is a better product right now than the big leagues. Well, part of what's happened on the big league level, which makes it distasteful, is how expensive it's gotten. And that's what's been good about minor league baseball, but it's starting to creep up there too in price. Now, I will say this about Arkansas baseball. It's going up in price too. It's gone up lately, and there was, for a long time, there was a segment of our fan base that gravitated towards baseball because it was really affordable. I'm talking about seniors and people on fixed income, and you could buy a season ticket for or two of them, and it wasn't an arm and a leg. So you saw a lot of retirees at the games, and same thing goes for Arkansas women's basketball. That's an affordable ticket on campus. That's exciting. So I kind of hate that the college baseball is starting to get up there in price too. But you're right about the product and the competitiveness of the game and the back and forth, and it's the leads are not safe. There's great comebacks in college baseball. You do not see the great comebacks in professional baseball because the bullpens are so solid in most levels, right? Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, one thing I did notice, and this is on prices. At South Carolina and at Tennessee, I think we've done pretty good job at Baum-Walker Stadium of at least keeping the concessions prices low. I honestly don't know what the ticket prices are because I don't have to buy tickets, but I have used my concession vouchers, so I do see what the prices of a soda costs. And to get the souvenir drink at Baum-Walker Stadium, it's cheaper than it is at South Carolina. It's cheaper than it is at LSU and at Tennessee. I'm not surprised. So, yeah, I'm not at all. They do a pretty good job with that. Now let's go to the game on the field here this weekend. Florida's really good. This is a team that probably has more at stake than Arkansas does, just in the overall scheme of the national tournament. Of course, the Hogs want to win the SEC regular season. Florida does too. Both teams have a shot at it. If Arkansas were to lose this weekend, which I don't think they will, you still think that the committee would look at them as an overall number one seed? Oh yeah. Just based on their non-conference, and that's what you look at some of these other teams. Their non-conference was just nothing. Go through some of those RPI sites and see the non-conference record, the non-conference quadrant 1, and they won't list like top 10 or top 15 victories, but Arkansas's in their road record. And what you do on the road is really significant in the eyes of the committee. And Arkansas's road record is just off the charts. And then they've got the neutral site games in Arlington, those 3 games, winning a series at Louisiana Tech. There's all those things that add up, to that. And Florida is really good, and it would not be, say,
a huge blow if they weren't successful, these 3 games. Florida is really good, and they are talented. If you want to see a team that's physical and looks the part, Florida, they always do. I think Kevin O'Sullivan is one of the really talented recruiters that's out there, and their ability to find baseball talent in Florida is huge.
Couple more minutes here with Clay Henry. Clay, we broke the news yesterday. We semi-broke the news, and then it was confirmed later on in the afternoon, going 100% full capacity for the rest of the season inside Baum Stadium, Bogle Park, and then not only for this weekend for Florida, but heading into the regionals and super regionals, hopefully for both of these teams. And Clay, for a team that's been playing in front of advertised full capacity, this will be a huge difference maker for both the baseball and softball teams getting 100%. And I can only imagine for a fan base, and we'll focus this more on baseball, for a fan base that's been clamoring to see an opportunity to see this number 1 ranked team in the country, Baum Stadium for the rest of this baseball season is going to be off the chains as far as excitement level, the atmosphere, and that could prove to be paid big dividends for this team moving forward.
Yeah, I think that it's not just the fans are going to have fun. I mean, there's nothing like being a fan and walking into the stadium and taking your seat and, watching the thing fill up. And then as through warm-ups and then, the national anthem, and you're standing up and you're looking around and to see what the Hawg pin's going to be like. And then, it's being able to call the Hogs when something good happens and impact the game. That's what's fun. I mean, it's fun for the fans as much as it is for the players. And I know Dave Van Horn has talked about how, they have so much ached to, this is a team they want to show out in front of their fans.
Absolutely.
And they know they've been watched. They get the feeling that, the whole state and the fan base is sitting on the edge of their chair for all these comebacks. But dadgum, this is what they came to Arkansas. There's guys that have come from out of state because they made a visit and saw 11,000 or 12,000 or 13,000 for a series, and they were in here, and they haven't gotten to experience that, and now they will.
It's going to be fun to really see this thing come out. Got 2 text messages of questions they want to ask Clay. If you got any real quick questions you want to text them in, shoot them in at 877-377-6963. Brandon in Paris texting, going back to our Texas conversation a moment ago. Brandon asked, Clay, would you give up losing a series in baseball to Texas for a blowout win against Texas in football?
I won't give up anything.
I didn't think so.
I want it all. I mean, it's like – so that's kind of like saying, okay, instead of getting 2 scoops of ice cream, you're only going to get 1. Is that good enough? No.
That's a great.
No, I want it all.
That's right. He's Freddie Mercury. He wants it all. He wants it all. He wants it all, and he wants it now.
That's a great question. This is a good one from our buddy Jeff Taylor over at Jeff's Clubhouse, and this could go into your column that you write for Saturday's paper. Clay, what's the happiest moment you've been covering Arkansas sports in beating Texas?
Say it again.
Clay's happiest moment beating Texas.
Oh, they all are. I mean,
does one stand out over the other?
No. It just I would say that pretty good. I was probably really too small to understand the significance of 64. I will say that I participated in honking the horns. So we lived in Meadowcliff in 1964. Arkansas, it was not on TV. The game's at night, listening on the radio. And my mother and father were both at the game. My mother brought back grass from the spot where the 2-point conversion was denied, and my dad planted in the backyard. But my grandmother kept us, and we laid on the floor, me and my 3 brothers, and listened to the game. And when it was over, we went outside in Meadowcliff, southwest Little Rock, and there's 2 cars in the driveway, and we honked horns. And that's what happened all across the city. I know, and I'm sure across the state, people honked their horns in a car awesome. That was parked. And you could hear the honking of the horns all across the neighborhood, all across the state. And I don't know that that's ever happened. So that was fun because we went out there and two brothers got in one car and two brothers got in the other and just started honking the horns because that's what everybody else was doing. And it was an incredible sound. So I remember that, and I wasn't even at the game.
My favorite moment, and it's not football, is Heston Kjerstad very politely shoving the Texas first baseman off of first base.
That was
at
that
the
was
College World Series. I love that the best Arkansas versus Texas meme is that one. For all the stuff that might happen in football, that's still the best one.
That inning, where they came back after the rain delay and pounding on them, and it was like there was all kinds of talk, and this was going to derail the Arkansas, victory. Like they're on their way when it happens. And what's going to happen? I mean, I heard all the talk, in the press box. This is great for Texas. All the national writers, Texas will. No.
It's great. Yeah.
It just got worse.
I remember, Clay, they were trailing going into that inning. Coach DeBryan came into the booth, and things started to happen. And Kjerstad very politely nudges the first baseman out of the way, and Cody Clemens comes up to him and says, "Hey, don't do that to my buddy." And then Luke Bonfield hits a 2-run homer for the lead, and then Arkansas cruised the
They're
rest
off
of
to
the
the
way.
races.
That's exactly right. I'll remember that. Remember that till I die. Clay, appreciate you, man. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Clay.
We always have fun. Thanks.
We do. All right. So I'll know it's Wednesday when he's with us next week, not Thursday.
But today is Thursday.
Today is Thursday, right?
Yes, today's Thursday.
You're sure about that?
It is.
All day long? All right. And it'll continue into the afternoon on Thursday after this.
My buddy said, man, you gotta call AshleyAir.com.
Spring has sprung and the summer heat will be here soon. Now is a great time to upgrade your air conditioning system. From now until the end of May, Carrier's Cool Cash rebates will save you up to $1,500 on a new heating and cooling system. Schedule your free estimate today at AshleyAir.com.
When your air conditioner breaks, you know who to call. There's only one choice. AshleyAir.com.
They say, trust the process. But if enjoyment isn't part of that process, don't trust the process. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
New Bud Light Seltzer?
Yep.
A hard seltzer with a hint of fruit flavor.
Yep.
Can I try one?
Yep.
That tastes great.
Told ya. Bud Light Seltzer. Unquestionably good. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer. IRC Beers. Beer in Texas. St. Louis, Missouri.
Live music is back on the patio at Joe's Grill and Cantina every Tuesday and Saturday night. Grab your favorite drink and sit on the patio and enjoy your favorite tunes. And don't forget brunch every Saturday starting at 10:45 at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Different brunch specials and your favorite brunch cocktails. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Live music, Taco Tuesday, daily specials, and brunch on Saturdays. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Largemouth bass will be spawning soon at ponds and lakes all over Arkansas and Oklahoma. One of the best lures to catch them on at this time is the famous Yum Dinger. We make them by the truckloads in Fort Smith in 3, 4, 5, and 6-inch sizes, and they are in tackle boxes of bass anglers all over the U.S. and all over the world. Wacky rigging the 5-inch model can't be beat for spawning bass. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Yum Dinger.
This Earth Day, you can go green with AOG paperless billing and enter for a chance to win $250. While signing up, you can also take advantage of other AOG payment and billing options like online payment, average monthly, and automated bill payment. Visit AOGC.com between April 22nd and May 22nd to sign up for paperless billing and be entered to win $250. Then like AOG on Facebook to double your chances.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, widespread showers and thunderstorms will continue. Our high this afternoon will be into the upper 70s. We'll continue to see showers and thunderstorms, especially early tonight. Overnight low in the low 60s. And then we're looking at more scattered showers and thunderstorms Friday, especially across the south. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Check out the Hawg Talk podcast. Find it on hitthatline.com or wherever you listen to podcasts.
It's fast. It's exciting.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is halftime. Coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3. the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Because this is a proud damn state.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
You can actually feel Razorback Stadium shaking underneath our feet right now.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Arkansas wins. The Hogs are still dancing to the Elite Eight for the first time since 1995.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Halftime today is brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings in Fort Smith, Conway, Little Rock, Sherwood, and Jonesboro.
Buffalo Wild Wings. Roar!
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Second hour halftime. So good to be with you. Thursday, Phil Elson, Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
Yeah.
Maddie Master Matthew Travis. And Bob Holt will come up in about 30 minutes out of the Democrat Gazette. 877-377-6963 for your calls and your texts. I don't know about the game tonight. I'm planning on going on at 5:30. Whether first pitch is thrown at 6:02 or not, I don't know. But I don't know what sort of answers to give you guys on the game. I'm getting texts from plenty of people now, so I guess Jetstream, and that makes it all official. Got a text here out of the 479. Last time he played Florida was the 2018 College World Series, with Arkansas beating them in the semifinals to go to the final round against Oregon State. Right, and they didn't play in 2019. Arkansas played Florida. It would have been 3, 4, 5 times in 2018. 3 in Gainesville, lost 2 out of 3. And then Arkansas beats Florida in Hoover, and then beats them in Omaha the one time they did play. So
that sent them on to the tournament championship game, right?
That's right. That was the game that Isaiah Campbell stepped up and just had an incredible start against Florida. And the Hogs pounded the ball against Brady Singer, who's now pitching for the Kansas City Royals. And Matt Cronin closed it out, and they went and they had a couple of days off before the first rain out against Oregon State. That's exactly right. And these are two teams that I think respect each other. The coaching staffs certainly do. Kevin O'Sullivan for Florida, Dave Van Horn of Arkansas, and I mean Dave told me years ago. I mean there's that he views the way that Florida runs their program in many same ways that Arkansas runs theirs, with a professional manner, the way that they play the game, the way that they celebrate or don't overly celebrate. And, Florida obviously is, a huge baseball state. I mean, just every sport pretty much. But, I mean, this is a team that's almost exclusively made up of kids from Florida. You know how like the Georgia roster was, they only had 3 players from outside the state of Georgia. As I look up and down this roster for the Gators Smackdown, I see one kid, who is not from Florida.
Ooh.
And it's their third string catcher.
Is it North Carolina?
Illinois.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, Cal Greenfield out of Chicago, Illinois, but he went to high school in Florida, so there you go.
Is there any law firms on this team? Is there any like Clark Williams and Son or something?
I forget which pitching staff was that sounded like a law firm. I think that was that Louisiana Tech.
That sounds right.
That was the Louisiana Tech pitching rotation that sounded like a law firm. I'll have to go back and look at that. Anyway, so we got lots to get to here in the second hour of halftime. And the NBA playoffs have started, which I won't be watching very much of them because I got all this college baseball to worry about. Smackdown, though, is our resident NBA watcher. And I understand there was a rather entertaining big game last night, although that was in the play-in tournament, right?
Yeah, you remember us talking about the play-in tournament now. So the 7, 8, 9, and 10 seeds, or the 7, 8, 9, 10 spots in each conference are in a little play-in tournament where the 7 and 8 seeds only have to win one game. The 9 and 10s have to win back-to-back games to get the 7 and 8 spots in the playoffs. And the Lakers and the Warriors played last night, LeBron James versus Steph Curry. Guys, that was an NBA Finals matchup not too long ago, and now both these teams are playing in this play-in tournament, albeit both these teams have just been injury ravaged this season with Anthony Davis getting hurt, LeBron James getting hurt. Steph has been dealing with injuries. It's been injury ravaged season for both of those teams, but the Lakers hit a game winner last night, taking down the Warriors, and the Lakers are in the playoffs as a 7 seed.
What was the deal with the look on LeBron's face? This photo I saw of him with this like concerned look on his face. What was this?
So he I believe it was Danny Green or someone pushed him or shoved him. I don't know exactly what happened. But LeBron tweaked his knee, and then the Academy Award-winning acting job of just grimacing in pain, and then he comes back 5 minutes later and hits the game-winning jump shot.
Tweaks his knee, which probably means he's going to make it look like he had his leg cut off.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So, by the way, it was Louisiana Tech that had the law firm pitching staff.
What was their names?
Fincher, Jennings, and Worf.
That's it. Yep.
If the name Jennings is thrown around there, that's as lawyerly of a last name as could possibly be, and it worked out perfectly. Like Jennings should always be the second name in the three partner list. Yeah, Fincher, Jennings, and Worf, and it was Worf who sent Arkansas to their first loss. Remember, he threw that 2-hitter.
Before I dive into the Pro Hawg update, who are the three? Does the three pitchers for Florida sound anything like a law firm?
No. What do I got here on their starting rotation? It's Mace, Barco, and Alleman. So
no. Okay. Well, darn it. Florida sucks.
It sounds a little more like a tag team, like a wrestling triple tag team.
That's a good one.
Mace, Barco, and Alleman. Mace is a weapon.
Making their way down to the ring. I like that. But there are some Pro Hogs that are in the NBA playoffs right now, and I'll just give you a quick update on those guys. There's 4 guys that's listed in the playoffs right now. Patrick Beverly, obviously probably the most noteworthy one, playing for the LA Clippers. Clippers are sitting at a 4 seed right now. We're taking on Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks. The 5 seed. Patrick hadn't been playing well offensively this year, but he's done enough on the defensive end to get about 22 minutes of action, averaging 7 points, 3 boards, and 2 assists a game. The 3 guys that you really need to keep an eye on, one of them we've talked extensively about on here previously, Daniel Gafford, playing for the Washington Wizards right now. They are playing tonight. They're going to be taking on I had this wrote down here somewhere in my notes here. Believe they'll be taking on we'll get to that. We'll find that in a second. I'll figure that out for a moment. But the Wizards right now, 118, 110, 100. They lost in the play-in tournament, so they are going to have to win one game here coming up here pretty quick to get into the playoffs.
Gafford was one of the main reasons that the Wiz even made a push, right? To even get into that play.
Yeah, I mean, they were think when we last talked about it, they were 13-4 since they traded for Daniel Gafford. That was as of a couple weeks ago. So, I mean, Gafford's been a huge piece for this Washington Wizards team. The Pacers, that's who they're playing tonight. Excuse me. Correct me if I'm wrong. The Wizards will play the Pacers tonight. The winner will advance on to the NBA playoffs and get the 8th seed in the tournament, or in the NBA playoffs, excuse me. So there's Daniel Gafford's been extremely well, 7 points a game, 4 boards, and 18 minutes of action. He's been the catalyst of this turnaround for the Wizards so far. In last game against the Celtics, in that loss, Phil, 21 minutes, went 12-5 and 2 blocks, and the future's extremely bright, playing for Bradley Beal, Russell Westbrook, and all the company down there with the Wizards. Isaiah Joe, he's on the number 1 seed 76ers this year. They'll be meeting the winner of Indiana versus Washington coming out of that matchup. So that's who Daniel Gafford and the Wizards hopefully will be meeting up with. Isaiah's got a lot of action this year. 76ers had a lot of COVID issues at the start of the season. Last game out, though, for the 76ers, 33 minutes of action for Isaiah Joe. Went for 17-3, 4 of 10 from the three-point line. He, too, will probably be key for the Sixers coming off the bench to make a run in the East and to probably either take on the Milwaukee Bucks or the Brooklyn Nets in the Eastern Conference Finals. And you heard me mention the Bucks. Bobby Portis, they'll open in the playoffs as a 3 seed, take on Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat. Bobby Portis, a double-digit score in the last 5 games for the Bucks. He's been extremely consistent for the Bucks coming off the bench for those guys. Been really liable for them on the defensive glass and on the defensive end. Big opportunity for him because Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't know if can you say his last name?
You just did. Antetokounmpo.
Very good. The Bucks need an NBA championship this year because if not, the Giannis will probably be hitting the road from Milwaukee. So Bobby Portis has got his hands full. But those are the 4 guys, and 3 of those guys are probably going to be fighting. Well, all 4 of them, honestly. But 2 or 3 of these guys will really be in the thick of the playoffs. So make sure you stay tuned and keep an eye on these 4 Razorbacks. I'll be keeping an eye on them for you throughout the duration of the NBA playoffs over here.
Yeah, I'm going to need you to do that for me, SmackDown, because I'm probably not turning on many NBA playoff.
Will you do it probably about the semifinals?
Being played. Well, it depends on the calendar and what's going on at that time, because in about a month, I'd really like to be in Omaha with the baseball team at the College World Series. And if that's the case, I'm not watching anything except college baseball.
Well, we ain't going to talk about anything but that, so.
That's right.
Exactly.
So it's up to you to keep me updated on
I got
all
you.
these guys.
I will make that my mission for you.
Good. I am counting on you. Our listeners are counting on you. Maddie T is counting on you. The cat is counting on you. Okay?
Because I'm sure all of our listeners are just grinding their teeth ready to hear about the NBA.
Well, about the Pro Hogs.
No, the Pro Hogs, yeah. I got
it. That's the whole point.
I got it.
You know what they're really drooling to hear?
Bob Holt.
How bad are the Pirates today? They stink. I've got proof. Stay with us.
The Morning Rush with Tom.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This song might make you feel cool, but it perfectly describes a fool. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road and gonna ride till I can't no more, and can't nobody tell me nothing. This path will only lead you to God's wrath, because the Bible says the wicked refuse discipline and treat his words like trash. What good is a nice beat when you're headed down the wrong street? I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This song might make you feel cool, but it perfectly describes a fool. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road and gonna ride till I can't no more, and can't nobody tell me nothing. This path will only lead you to God's wrath, because the Bible says the wicked refuse discipline and treat his words like trash. What good is a nice beat when you're headed down the wrong street? I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab.
Join the winning team at Buffalo Wild Wings. We are hiring. Apply now at work4wings.com. Competitive pay, team member discounts, flexible schedule, insurance options, incentive contests, and much more. Work where every day is game day. Roar!
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Opitz wants it on the outside corner. The pitch is hit in the air to deep left field. Trouble. Gregory's there, leaping at the wall. Gregory made the catch for the third out. Zach Gregory near the fence. Highlight that man.
The Morning Rush, Halftime, Ruskin and Zach, the Hawg Talk Podcast. Trusting the process. All available on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Built by Breeden RV Center. Family owned and operated. A no-pressure, laid-back atmosphere and always home of the free maintenance for life. Just type Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
All right, you guys, podcast time.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and SmackDown.
Halftime is brought to you as well by Wheels RV in Springdale. Make sure you're getting out there and enjoy everything that the natural state has to offer. Best way to do that is a new RV from Grand Design or Forest River, KZ, Keystone, Alliance, Heartland. You'll find all those brands, the best brands, and the best prices at Wheels RV in Springdale, plus peace of mind with a lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle that keeps you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels RV is voted best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels is 5 miles west, right off I-49. That's exit 72. Seek, explore, discover Wheels RV. I want to make you a prediction today, SmackDown.
All right, let's hear it.
So you've had a no-hitter thrown in the major leagues 2 days in a row. Spencer Turnbull for Detroit on Tuesday. Corey Kluber yesterday for the Yankees. And I'm going to make a prediction today that we're going to see our first combined no-hitter in Major League Baseball this year. It will be the 7th, really the 8th thrown, because Madison Bumgarner got screwed. I think he really did throw a real no-hitter. And you want to know why it's going to be the Braves that throw a combined no-hitter today? Well, I'm going to give you one reason why.
Why is that?
They're playing the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Oh, no, there's got to be a better reason than that. Come on.
Drew Smiley's pitching for the Braves today. Smiley's been pitching pretty well last couple of times out. 1 run, 6 innings. I just don't think that Brian Snitker's going to let him go the full 9 innings. So I think he's going to probably have a reliever or two help him finish off this no-hitter, because it's going to happen. You want to know why it's going to happen? You want to know why the Braves will no-hit the Pittsburgh Pirates, SmackDown? Because they are rounding into form now. How bad are the Pirates today, SmackDown?
Just how bad are they, Phil?
Well, they righted the Cardinal ship. I told you that if you guys were nervous about getting swept by San Diego, you Cardinal fans, don't you fret. You had Dr. Pirates coming in for 2 games into the Gateway City by the Arch. Dr. Pirates. That's exactly right, because the Pirates make sick teams well again. That's what my boss Bill Valentine used to call really bad traveler teams. I'll never forget it. It got printed in the newspaper, and he said that's us, Dr. Travelers. We make sick teams well again. Well, that's who the Pirates are right now. All right?
That's great.
So the Braves are ready to throw a no-hitter today because they got the doctor in town. So not only did the Pirates lose 2 games in a row to St. Louis, SmackDown, they trailed every inning. It's 18 innings in 2 games. They trailed every single inning. That's tough to do. They also trailed in 25 of the last 27 innings they've played, if you count their loss against San Francisco in the last series they've played. So this even gets better. I love how these just work out perfectly. The Pirates now are the lowest scoring team in Major League Baseball in what is right now potentially the worst offensive season in decades in Major League Baseball. So that would therefore make the Pirates potentially the worst offensive team in the last 60 years in Major League Baseball if this holds out.
That's even worse than last year's team.
God, I hope it holds out. I really do. They have the lowest slugging percentage in the big leagues and the fewest home runs hit. They've hit 27 home. What's everybody trying to do now in the big leagues? Hit home runs. The Pirates do that worse than any other team. By the way, Shohei Ohtani and Ronald Acuna Jr. have combined for 27 home runs between the two of them. And the Pirates have 27 combined by all of them. 17-25 record, now beginning to settle into the basement, right where they belong, chained to the wall. Last place in the NL Central. I'm going to say they have a 2.5 game lead on last place for Cincinnati. It's not that they're behind Cincinnati. They're in front of Cincinnati for last place because we're playing for the top overall draft pick again. All right? So Cardinals get their second off day of the week, and really the last 2 days were off days for them anyway. Jason in Frankfurt has given us a call, 877-377-6963. Hi, Jason.
Follow that, Jason.
What you got?
So you mentioned no-hitters. You've been talking about no-hitters. I'm going to give you a reason why a no-hitter is not a great thing if you are attending in person. And this is it. So when I go to a game in person, I like to have a beer. Now, the last time I saw a no-hitter was like May of 2004. And it was Randy Johnson and the Atlanta Braves. And so I was in Atlanta on work, went out there to Turner Stadium, like to have about a beer per hour. So first pitch, wait 15 minutes, have a beer. And then once you get after hour one, another hour later, another beer.
So usually, Jason, the way that this works then is you're probably having like a beer every 3 innings, right?
Approximately, maybe a little. I can stretch it out. I can milk it occasionally, but this was a cool day. I remember that. It wasn't a hot day in Atlanta. So I remember that, and I remember that game being over in 2 hours. Randy Johnson had pitched a no-hitter. I'm not a Braves fan, but I was like, man, I didn't get my third beer in because I had just finished my second one when he was getting his 27th out. So that is one reason why if you're going to go to a game, you cannot consume as much beer. So that's where you have it.
You just told me, you said, I'm not a Braves fan, but I think, yeah, but you're a beer fan. And I think that's what you go rooting for the beer man, Jason. That's well done. Well done. I love it. And so Jason would be like the guy that's saying, for all of you who want to quicken the pace of the game up, no, make it slower for me. Make it slower for me, pretty please.
Just, if it's going to be an in the house experience, yeah, slow it down just a touch. Give me a little more time to consume because I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to, especially Turner Stadium. That was there in South Atlanta. That wasn't the best part of Atlanta to be in an evening. You got to kind of monitor it. So I was a little bit perturbed. I only got 2 beers in, but I ended up making it. It was fun overall. But anyway.
Okay. All right.
Good to talk to you guys. Go Hogs.
Heck yeah, brother. Thanks, Jason.
Good phone call, Jason. Well, and of course now they cut. I think all teams cut beer sales off at the end of the 7th inning usually. Theoretically to sober everybody up for the last couple of innings. That would be, by the way, another reason. Who wants all these lengthy extra inning games? If you're Jason and you want more beer, that means you're sitting there if you're staying for the whole thing with no beer at all, none. Jason,
so would they reopen beer sales? If you went to the 10th, is it if it's tied going into the 10th, do they open up for one more inning?
I doubt it.
That's awful.
Just because you're going to see a game that you might at one point say, go home, baseball, you're drunk, doesn't mean that all the fans are at that time either. I will say Jason would have loved being a Travelers fan when Bill ran the team because I love this part of that franchise. Every franchise in minor league baseball and Major League Baseball would stop beer sales at the end of the 8th inning. At Raywinder Field in Little Rock, when Bill Valentine ran the Travelers, at the end of the 8th inning, beer got cheaper at Traveler games.
Wait, what?
We put beer on sale at Traveler games in the 8th inning. That's when you emptied out all the cold beer that you didn't want to put back in warm storage. It was crazy. Extra innings, beer got even cheaper. I mean, it was crazy.
What was alcohol sales like for the Travelers back then?
Liken it to a lifeblood. Liken it to a lifeblood. Absolutely.
Oh, that's great. That's fantastic. You mentioned the Pirates a second ago. I wanted to bring this up before. Will there ever be a day that you live to see the Pirates not be in the bottom and the gutter of the NL Central?
I think it'll happen just by chance. Hopefully, what am I, 44 years old now? I'm probably going to make it to late 70s, early 80s, something like that.
Oh, you're selling yourself short. Come on now.
Something's got to happen in the next 40 years. That even an accident happens and they trip their way to a division championship and somehow make it into the World Series. I don't know. So I do have faith that randomness exists in the world and that randomness also exists in Major League Baseball. That's the only thing I have as far as faith is concerned as being a Pirates fan. That's it. I can just take solace in randomness. Not in them being any good, just randomness.
Well, honest to God, what would it take to get this team respectable again in your mind? What would it take for this team to we're not having this segment? How bad are the Pirates? What would in your mind would make? Okay, you know what? They're giving it the good old college try.
I'd say trade rosters with about 23 of the other teams in baseball.
Wow.
Start with that. They've already done what they can do, which is strip the organization to its bare bones and let it sink to the bottom and then see what happens.
Wow.
All
right.
By the way, did anybody see the Fernando Tatis splits yesterday as he came back in after he had COVID and was out for a week?
It's a good way to come back.
Splits that he did after a steal at second base yesterday.
That has to hurt, doesn't it?
How many men saw that and thought, no, you did not do that?
Something tore down there. Had to have.
Something tells me that your brain's voice was a heck of a lot higher pitched than my voice was just there. Bob Holt's coming up after the break, and then we finish it out with halftime homework. And SmackDown, you got to start doing your homework, man. I got another horror movie I'm assigning you.
Oh,
and this one's not as bad as The Exorcist. We'll see if you might watch that one. We'll see. Anyway, Bob Holt's next. We'll be right back.
Gotta finish this today.
Cristiano's construction projects typically run smoothly, but this project's pipeline is about to burst.
Yo, boss, where you want us to put this? To the left. Your other left. John.
Indeed can help him hire the people he needs.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
When you call a Dell Technologies advisor, you're talking to someone who isn't waiting for their turn to speak, but who actually wants to hear what you have to say. They're focused on you, ready to give advice on everything from laptops to the cloud, and offer tailored solutions powered by Intel vPro platform to keep your small business ready for what's next. Our advisors listen, so you know your small business needs have been heard. Call a Dell Technologies advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Hey, back again at World of Wireless, 877-305-DISH is the number you can call. And if you've recently got a mailer or a coupon or something emailed to you with an offer from another number, another place, then bring that here or call with that information. As a premier Dish dealer, you can match any of the offers around the country.
Any mailer, any offer, bring it into us. We're a premier retailer. We're allowed to honor those. So if you've got a Dish retailer for anything, free gift or any gift card, just bring it into us right there at the corner of Highway 22 and Church Street where it dead ends into Barling. We're Frank Rowe Furniture. We're right at the light. Come see us or call us at 877-305-DISH. We're a local company and we can honor any mailer and get you signed up with the Dish Hopper system installed free this weekend.
Plus, you've also got the portable satellite systems in stock.
We are a Playmaker headquarter for camping. Come see us. If you need a portable satellite, we've got those, and we can show you how to use them, and they're easy to use.
Certainly that time of the year. 877-305-DISH for all the details. They'll match any offer at World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006. Will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection. 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Business is back, and your locally owned TGI Fridays is now hiring for multiple positions. For over 26 years, TGI Fridays in Fort Smith has been locally owned and a fun place to work, and we want you to come be a part of our family. Apply in person or message us online on our TGI Fridays Fort Smith Facebook page. If you've been out of work and are needing a job, or you're just looking for a career change, we have multiple positions available in the front and back of the house, and we want to welcome you to our family at your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Congratulations, you're having a little girl.
At that moment, everything changed. Our hopes and dreams for ourselves were instantly replaced by our hopes and dreams for her. We got life insurance policies from Shelter Insurance, so that regardless of what life throws at us, we'll still be able to provide the world to her.
Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Ask Shelter agent Wade Gilkey about a free insurance review.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Wallace back in. Here's the pitch. Swinging a ground ball towards shortstop. Could be two. Fielded by Harrison. Gives it to Coleman. Coleman throws it away. Past first base. The Hogs are going to win. And they do. Robert Moore scores on a throwing error. The Aggies botch the double play. The Razorbacks win 2-1, and they sweep the doubleheader, and they have chased Caden Wallace all the way into center field.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins. Want to meet Coach Sam Pittman? You can at the Arkansas Baptist Children's Homes and Family Ministries Golf Classic Monday, May the 24th. Visit arkansasfamilies.org for more information.
All right, Bob Holt's with us, outstanding sports writer extraordinaire from the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, and with us every Thursday, at least most of them. Bob, how you doing today, man? We got one weekend left in the regular season for college baseball. The Hogs are going for an SEC championship, and I think we should have a pretty exciting weekend. Hopefully we get baseball in tonight, but I think we're good for the next 2 days, so I think we should see a pretty good series. This is a good Florida team.
Yeah, Dave Van Horn was talking about it yesterday on his media Zoom that Florida's probably as talented as any team in the country. They were preseason number one, I think, in some polls, and they got off to a bit of a slow start, but they're 17-10, and so they're playing for the title too. I mean, it's amazing. There's 6 teams that mathematically could at least share the overall title, still going to last weekend. But Arkansas is in the driver's seat because if they win, if they sweep, obviously they're the champions. Probably 2 out of 3 would do it, maybe even 1 out of 3, depending. But yeah, it's a great way to end the season with a very meaningful series. It's a great way to end the regular season, I should say.
Right, and that's what I'm getting at here. That's what I'm getting at with this, with my next statement here. There are certain achievements that you're looking to accomplish throughout a baseball season in college baseball. And Dave yesterday on the Zoom said, look, I want to go out and win the West Division because you don't play everybody in the league. You really can't control what's happening in the other divisions so often. And they've been so successful in their division this year. 13-5 in the West. You want to win the West. Of course, winning the overall league championship, though, there's something about that is so different from winning a tournament. An SEC tournament, as difficult as that is to do, it's a week long. The national tournament, and again, that's what you're playing for this year, is you want to go to Omaha, win the whole thing. That's what you're playing for. But that's also a tournament that is 1 month long. When you're talking about a body of work, winning the Southeastern Conference in baseball is an incredible accomplishment. Even if you don't make it 13 weeks in a row winning a series like this team is trying to do, I feel like winning the Southeastern Conference in baseball, Bob, is so amazingly difficult that it's only happened twice in this program's history. They've been to Omaha many more times than that.
Yeah, it's a 30-game conference season, so it's a big sample size, certainly for college baseball, maybe not for Major League Baseball. For college baseball, that's over half your regular season games. And, you don't play everybody in the other division, but certainly they didn't play Vanderbilt, who, some people might consider the best team over there. They played Tennessee, who's leading it. They're going to play Florida, who's right there. They didn't get to play Missouri, but maybe that's a good thing for Arkansas since Missouri rose up and somehow beat Mississippi State 2 out of 3. I'm still not sure how that happened. I almost swept them. But, I think the West is a tougher division anyway. They played South Carolina, who's a very good team over there. It's going to go to the NCAA tournament, just like those other teams I mentioned. So I think it's kind of like football. I think the West is tougher in baseball. The East is very good also. But, I think you're right. Arkansas won in 1999. And then in 2004, 99 under Norm DeBryan, 2004 under Dave Van Horn. So, and I think proving your team proving themselves over a 30-game schedule to me is a more significant accomplishment than winning the tournament, which is still very tough to do. But honestly, this year when Arkansas goes to Hoover, I'm not even sure what they're playing for. I think they've got a number one seed sewed up. I'm talking about number one overall seed probably. Certainly if they win this series, I think they'll be the number one seed, no question. And I couldn't see them falling much more to number two national seed, no matter what happens this weekend in Hoover. So, the regular season to me is much more significant accomplishment. And I think in any sport.
Bob Holt joining us here on Halftime. Bob, I mean, I feel like, you start a college baseball season and you want to make it to Omaha, and that's the goal at the start because it's so difficult to make it there. You want to be amongst the final 8, and then that tournament itself, is like its own certain thing, and we Bill King yesterday, one of our Wednesday guests usually said it'd be a disappointment if this team doesn't go to Omaha. I agree. I think they would view it the same way. Does this team need to win a national championship to appease a fan base that feels like this is the program that's going to end the lengthy national championship drought outside of track? Does this team need to do it this year? Because I feel like this program is at a level where it's going to happen sometime in the near future.
Well, I mean, obviously they've been number one all year, so yeah, I agree. I mean, I think Arkansas's program has reached a level where there's a bit of disappointment if you don't go to Omaha, every year. That's just not realistic. But if they do it this year, that'll be 3 straight times that the tournament, the season's been held. Obviously, nobody got to go to Omaha last year, unfortunately. But when you've been ranked number one all year, I think it would be a disappointment not to get to Omaha. More disappointing than usual. But I think you have to look at other sports like basketball. Baylor was the number one seed, Gonzaga was the number one seed, but a lot of high seeds didn't even make it to the second weekend in the NCAA tournament. And, Arkansas's basketball team made it to the Elite Eight, which is kind of the equivalent of College World Series, I guess, from about the final 8 teams in basketball. So you're not one and done in the NCAA tournament or in Omaha, but you're 2 and done, until you get to that final round. So I would hope if Arkansas does, I hope people understand how hard it is to make it to Omaha. Even if Arkansas is going to be playing at home and at regional, super regional, it seems like a pretty safe assumption. It's no guarantees. I think every year about half of the top 16 seeds don't make it to a super regional. So it's teams that get to play at home. They either get knocked out in a regional or in a super regional. And so I hope people, if Arkansas doesn't go to Omaha, I hope people won't consider it a bad season. Yes, it'll be disappointing, but I think people have to understand how hard it is to make it to Omaha, and certainly how hard it is to win a national championship. But I think the key is that you put yourself in position every year. I mean, that's what the great programs do in baseball, basketball, football, the teams that make the playoffs now. The more you get there, the better chance you have of knocking that final door down. And so I don't know if Arkansas is going to win it all this year. I think they certainly have a great chance based on what they've done so far. But I do think it's a program that is going to continue to put itself in position. If you keep having great seasons, getting to Omaha sooner or later, the odds are you're going to win it all.
Bob, I want to go back to a point that you made a moment ago, and you mentioned that Arkansas regardless, pretty much have this top 8 seed guaranteed in the regionals when it comes up. And did you say? I just want to make sure I heard you right. Did you say you think they have the number 1 seed regardless of what happens for the rest of the season?
Well, I think if they were to lose, like get swept by Florida, which I think is highly unlikely, but let's say that did happen, then they go to Hoover, where, like I said, I really don't think they have a lot to play for.
Right.
Let's say they went 0-2 in Hoover. So if they lost 5 straight games, then they're probably not going to be the number 1 overall seed. But I don't think they drop much lower than a 2 or a 3. And like you said, I certainly think they have a super regional as well as a regional sewed up.
Right.
Like I say, if they lose 5 in a row, the selection committee may not reward them with a number 1 overall seed. But I think if you're one of those top 8 seeds, I don't know if there's a huge difference between being a 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever.
Well,
I certainly think they've done enough.
What I wanted to allude to was just
that.
I didn't mean to. I'm sorry, Bob. What I wanted to allude to just a little bit was, do you think, kind of depending on how this Florida series turns out, if this thing is moved to a doubleheader tomorrow and a single game Saturday for whatever reason, do you expect Dave Van Horn to kind of play with the pitching staff a little bit just to kind of see some different guys in different situations. We're seeing Caleb Bolden on the bump for Friday night's game. Do you expect more of that moving forward as we get into the SEC tournament where, I agree with you, there's not a lot to play for because once you get there, if you win the thing, absolutely go try to win the whole thing, but you don't necessarily need to because, like you said, we pretty much have a top 3 seed wrapped up regardless. So I guess I'm just curious, do you think we'll see more playing with the pitching staff?
Maybe not this week, and certainly if it were me, and obviously, nobody really cares what I think, but if Arkansas wins this series, I think they're sure of a number 1 seed. And then if you go to Hoover, I definitely would not give Kevin Kopps much work. Maybe do whatever you feel like is, keeps him sharp, maybe an inning or two, if you play 2 or 3 games. I'd give Casey Opitz a game off, get some of those younger catchers in there. I'd start Jackson Wiggins, maybe give Connor Nolan a start. Definitely would have Wicklander on a pitch count. I think you could do that in Hoover. I don't, maybe this is blasphemy. I don't know if that's what he thinks. I'd almost treat Hoover like midweek games. I really would because, and I don't mean that as a knock on the SEC tournament, but I just don't think, you want to keep the momentum going. You want to keep guys sharp, but I just don't. I would treat that as a way to, give Kevin Kopps, a bit of a break. Like I said, maybe give Casey Opitz a game off. Let those younger catchers get some SEC experience. I just don't see what Hoover can do for them other than wear out their pitching staff.
Well, we had a text come in here, both Bob and Phil, from Nate, said winning the regular season is much better than winning the SEC tournament. Before we, Phil, Bob, do you agree with that? Like, would it probably mean more to this team to win the regular season rather than winning a quote unquote meaningless SEC tournament?
Yeah, I definitely think that. We just thought, you win the SEC regular season title, you've proven yourself over the long haul. 30 games. You get hot in Hoover, that's nice. And, for a team like LSU or something, they might need to win the tournament depending on what they do this weekend to get a bid or make a big run. For Arkansas, I really just think it just wears their guys out. So I would use it to give some of those pitchers who you might need in the postseason, give them some good work, play some different guys. I don't mean like you rest all your regulars, but I definitely would get, especially Casey Opitz, who's obviously had a very physically taxing season as a catcher. I would definitely give him a game off. Mm-hmm. There were 2. I don't know how many they play, but the SEC regular season title to me is much more meaningful than the tournament title.
I think there's pitchers and even position players in some cases that Dave would like to get into the game in certain situations that he can't right now, that in Hoover you can, and that's something we'll get into maybe next week. Bob, we got to run. Appreciate you, man. Thanks so much for coming on a little later today.
Okay, you guys take care.
Thanks, Bob.
You got it. That's Bob Holt from the Democrat Gazette, and we'll have him next Thursday, as long as Arkansas baseball is not playing in the middle of what halftime would usually be airing, because next week, that is the week that it could actually happen. Hey, if you're nervous when you got to visit the dentist, I understand it. I understand. You got to get a hold, though, of Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan at Riley Farm Dental at 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A. That's Highway 71, Riley Farms. You're going to notice the moment you walk in, they'll put you at ease. You'll feel very comfortable, and you'll feel like you're part of the Riley Farm Dental family. More information at RileyFarmDental.com. Call 226-3500. Riley Farm Dental is voted top 3 best of the best every year for 4 years running, providing all dental procedures, braces, implants, cosmetics, everything else. That's RileyFarmDental.com for more info. Halftime homework to wrap it up.
Hi, Jeremy Tissington, General Sales Manager here at Randall Ford. Last month was a great month, so we're keeping the incredible specials going. We have over $6,000 off new EcoSports, or you can get 0% for 84 months. And let's not forget the brand new 2021 Ford F-150 with huge savings and the best selection in the River Valley with new trucks arriving daily. Stop in today. I would love to meet you and show you why we are America's 4th oldest dealership. Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers, or online 24/7 at randallford.com, home of the lowest price guarantee.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. If you're going to do some cold water bass fishing, you need to be using a Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. It's the best lure for duplicating a small school of shad and can be worked from the top of the water column to the bottom. Whether you're trying to win a bass tournament or whoop up on a bunch of white bass and stripers, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. will catch them. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Umbrella Flash Mob Jr.
Farm Credit has been a trusted friend for over 100 years. They are ag financing experts. So whether you're a longtime farmer, new to farming, or buying your dream home or land in the country, their experienced staff has a plan to fit your goals, needs, and your bottom line. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com. Farm Credit is an equal opportunity lender.
Give potted plants a healthy start with Scott's Miracle Grow from Metters Lumber True Value. Right now, choose a 4-pound bag of all-purpose plant food or a 2 cubic foot bag of potting mix for just $8.99 each after $3 instant rebate for True Value Rewards members. The plant food instantly feeds flowers, vegetables, and houseplants, while the potting mix offers 6 months of continuous feeding. Shop right now for these and other great bargains of the month while supplies last at Metters Lumber True Value. Certain exclusions apply. See store for details.
This Earth Day, you can go green with AOG paperless billing and enter for a chance to win $250. While signing up, you can also take advantage of other AOG payment and billing options like online payment, average monthly, and automated bill payment. Visit AOGC.com between April 22nd and May 22nd to sign up for paperless billing and be entered to win $250. Then like AOG on Facebook to double your chances.
Are your real estate investments being properly managed? Are you sending a check or cashing a check each month? If you're tired of your current property managers, then call Trinity Multifamily. Trinity will qualify your tenants and leases, inspect your properties, and take care of maintenance and provide you with web-based access to current financial reports, leases, and pictures of your property. Call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
Last year, the Brandon Burlsworth football camps were held virtually, and they were great. But this year, we're back. That's right. The Brandon Burlsworth football camps will be taking place on June the 4th at FS Garrison Stadium in Harrison and June 5th at War Memorial Stadium in Little Rock. These camps are open to students who will be entering the 3rd through 9th grades next fall. Come learn the game from former Razorback greats. The camp fee is just $35. For more information, visit BrandonBurlsworth.org. The Brandon Burlsworth football camps are back.
Make your car buying experience better at Hertz Car Sales. The goal is to provide customers with a wide selection of low-mileage, extra-clean vehicles, providing their buyers with a better way to drive. A professional sales staff, quality customer service, along with a relaxing atmosphere is what you find every time at Hertz Car Sales. What are you waiting for? Make the short drive to 2810 Midland Boulevard or call them today at 783-1722. You can also check them out online at buyfromhertz.com. Hertz Car Sales, when you're ready.
This is ESPN 95.3.
3-2 on the way to Brady Slavens. Hit high and deep to right field. If that's fair, it's out of here. Minnick's at the wall. That ball is gone. A home run. It hit the new patio off the building in right field. Another rainmaker.
Find us on 99.5 and 1290 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and SmackDown.
All right, 5:30 airtime for the Dugout Show, Arkansas, Florida baseball. I'll be there with Bubba. We're expecting 6:02 first pitch. If not, we'll see probably a doubleheader tomorrow, but as of right now, nothing has been decided.
Would there be I didn't mean to interrupt. Would there be a chance of them doing one game tomorrow and a double Saturday?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. No, because they got to get it in the next day if possible. And if you play a doubleheader Saturday, it's going to be 2 7-inning games instead of 2 9s.
All right.
So it would be Friday if you have to have a doubleheader. One great place to make plans this weekend, though, would be 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Just go to 906lounge.com, and you can find out all about the incredible top-shelf spirits they've got there for you. The best hand-rolled cigars anywhere in the state. Great food right there on their menu. I'm still interested in this chicken pyro panini that I hear Tommy talking about so often. Really good stuff, and you won't smell like a cigar when you head over to 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge because they replace the air every 4 minutes with a state-of-the-art airflow system. And smells lovely inside, even smells as nice as it looks inside 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. That's at 906 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith, 906lounge.com to learn more. All right, we're wrapping up the show on a Thursday with halftime homework.
Kind of homework assignment? I have a tough assignment. I'm thinking we should talk about the homework assignment.
Dude, did you do all your homework last night?
I'm not doing it. This is hard.
You really did your homework, didn't you?
It's time for halftime homework.
What do you boys have for me today?
The first thing I got for you today, SmackDown, it is National Quiche Lorraine Day. Do you eat quiche?
Never tried quiche.
You'd like quiche if you like eggs, cheese. This is one that's right down your alley, my friend. Bacon, eggs, cheese, and onions.
What am I
Is there
hearing?
anything wrong about that?
He's playing a song.
Yeah, this is a song in the background that is called Quiche Lorraine. This is from the debut album of the actually the second album of the B-52s. One of the weirdest songs you'll ever hear in your life. He's singing about his dog named Quiche Lorraine, okay? Not about the actual meal.
I didn't even recognize this as music. That's why I was wondering what the hell was going on.
That's right. It sounds like you're in a planetarium.
Oh, that looks really good. I just Googled a picture of Quiche Lorraine.
I just want to turn that down because there's no reason to force you to listen to that song anymore.
That looks really good.
Yeah, you're going to need some quiche Lorraine. I'm telling you, like, what's the phrase about men and quiche? Like, real men don't eat quiche? That's a bunch of bunk. That's not true. Real men eat eggs, cheese, bacon, onions.
I grew up on that.
Real men eat quiche. You're a real man.
Absolutely.
Eat quiche. Eat quiche Lorraine. I think you'll like it.
Huh.
All right, the next thing I had for you here. So I found this story online about a mysterious blob washing ashore in North Carolina. So this was posted by the United Press International. The Cape Lookout National Seashore posted a photo to Facebook of what they describe as a gelatinous blob. They think it might be egg sacs of a squid, but they're not sure. So this gets me thinking about one of my favorite bad movies from the 1980s that I feel like forcing you to watch, which I know you're not going to watch it anyway, SmackDown, because you don't do your halftime homework. The Blob from 1988, remaking the classic from the 50s. Here's the trailer.
If it had a mind, you could reason with it. If it had a body, you could shoot it. If it had a heart, you could kill it.
What?
Now, man is no longer the supreme being on this planet.
Are you frightened yet, SmackDown?
Getting close.
The organism is growing at a geometric rate. By all accounts, it's at least 1,000 times its original mass.
Nobody believes me about what happened tonight.
What did happen?
You were there, you saw.
Plasmic life form that hunts its prey. Predator. I want that organism alive.
I think you ticked it off.
SmackDown, are there enough?
Has no shape.
Terra has no shape, my friend. Were there enough explosions and screaming blob things there for you to get you to actually tune this thing in at some point?
I was doing fine until what it said. Every heart is able to be broken. What did it say?
I have no idea.
But there was something that said
it was saying that if it had a heart, it could be shot.
If it had a heart, it could be shot.
Blob of goose.
What did it say before that? It said something about you
had
could
a body.
eat it.
I don't know.
Good Lord.
I don't know. I have no idea. This is starring Kevin Dillon, so I mean, this is someone that you know.
Line me up.
Yeah, and it does have some really good deaths in that movie.
So SmackDown, you're 28, right?
Yes.
And you don't want to watch this movie?
Yes.
My mom took me to the movie theater to see this when I was 5 years old, and I loved it.
I rented that movie. I never saw it in the theater. I rented it a number of times so I could scare my sister.
I didn't even know it was a remake until a few years ago.
Is this one better, or is the 50? Like you said, there was a 55.
This one has to be much more gruesome.
I didn't see the one from the. Yeah, I'm sure there wasn't any blood and guts and gore from the late 1950s version. The 1988 one, plenty of it, my friend. That's why it's rated R.
Oh God.
But you still have a bunch of other movies you've got to watch along with that.
Yeah,
so I know you're not going to do it.
No, I got
just
you.
Figured I would assign you.
I will not let you two down. It just may take me a minute, but I will not let you down.
Phil, did you ever see Creepshow 2?
I remember Creepshow, the first one.
So I watched Creepshow 2 the other day, and there's one of the segments of it is a blob thing too. There's these teenagers like out floating on a raft in a lake, and there's
I remember
a floating
that one.
blob in the lake.
Absolutely,
yeah,
I remember that one. Yeah,
it ends up coming up on the shore as the kid's trying to swim away and gets him. I'm sure that was
blobs are really good reason for being frightened. And Chad W. was right. Halftime homework would be better if you actually did the homework.
Thank you, Chad. You can get off my lawn.
Ty never did the homework. SmackDown doesn't do the
He's
homework.
Just keeping with tradition.
Yeah, I'm just basically assigning things to our listeners that want you to do your schoolwork.
And he's a teacher of all things, and he doesn't even do his homework.
Look,
SmackDown, what do you have? You had one thing here on homework.
Well, it's more not really homework. I just thought.
If you ever go back to teaching, I don't know what I'll do.
Oh, God almighty. Well, we can't talk about that quite yet. So, anyway, we'll move on to this right here. Did you boys hear that Microsoft is retiring Internet Explorer in 2022?
Is Internet Explorer riding on a horse off in the distance?
It's riding off on a horse with no name, yes.
Oh, wow.
It's going off into the sunset. Do you always know when Microsoft or Internet Explorer was first created?
1995.
It's like
Internet
I told you
Explorer
that
is spending the rest of its days on the golf course.
It.
Yeah, Internet Explorer is going to play with its grandkids for the rest of its life now.
Microsoft
Edge would be the grandkid of Internet Explorer.
So Microsoft Edge is taking its place, but this got me thinking. Like this made me remember like Bebo and MySpace and all those social media platforms.
Man, I had a great MySpace page.
Yeah, but those weren't browsers.
No, you're talking Firefox,
Netscape Navigator.
Oh yeah.
Oh lordy.
Yeah, Prodigy. Now you're talking. That was all dial-up stuff. You got to make the crazy sound along with that. All right, we're done. The SmackDown for Matty T. Sounds like the Blob, by the way. We'll be back with you tomorrow. Get up, get out, get better.
This time of year is hectic, and we know